One of the many striking things about the 2016 elections was the unfavorability of both candidates.
Hillary and Donald are both very biased. Gary Johnson is a more honest candidate.
When she first started running, she wasn't my first choice, but then we had this guy come along, and
I feel really uncomfortable saying I'm with her, because so much of why I stand with Hillary is because I'm in such opposition to Trump.
And this chart here is a simple but very nice line graph that shows you that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump were the most unpopular major party candidates for president since 1980, since these sorts of things were widely measured. Hillary Clinton on election day had a higher favorability rate than Donald J. Trump. She was 10 percentage points underwater, with 44% of voters having a favorable view of Hillary Clinton, 54% having an unfavorable view. Donald Trump was elected president with a 38% favorability rating. 60% of voters had an unfavorable view of Donald J. Trump. So both before the election, this would have been a good thing to do, and certainly after the election, it's an interesting thing to do in terms of interpreting the election. But we can break voters into three bins. Actually, it would be possible to break voters into four bins, but I don't think the fourth bin exists. So you can have voters who had a favorable view of Hillary Clinton, but an unfavorable view of Donald Trump. That was 41% of the electorate. You had 36% of the electorate who only had a favorable view of Donald Trump and did not have a favorable view of Hillary Clinton. And then you had 18% of the electorate, almost 1 in 5 people who actually voted, who disliked both candidates. You then have a bizarre couple percentage points of people who actually liked both of them. But that was a very, very small number. So no real surprise who that 41% of people who liked Hillary Clinton but didn't like Donald Trump would vote for, or who that 36% who only liked Donald Trump would vote for. Hillary Clinton wins people who only like Hillary Clinton 98% to 1%. Donald Trump wins people who only like Donald Trump 98% to 1%. But Donald Trump wins this election because of those people who disliked both candidates. Donald Trump won them by 20 percentage points. So the assumption before the election, there were people doing this sort of analysis where they were breaking the electorate into just like Clinton, just like Trump, don't like either of them. The assumption was that people who didn't like either of them would, 1, not vote, 2, vote for a third party candidate, or if they did vote for one of the major party candidates, given that they disliked both, that they would break evenly. But what happened was the haters actually, who disliked both candidates, they broke strongly for Donald Trump by 20 percentage points. Other pieces of data that are interesting. In the exit poll, the question was asked: do you think this person is qualified to be president of the United States? 60% of people didn't think Donald Trump was qualified to be president of the United States. Trump won almost 20% of the vote of people who didn't think he was qualified to be president. A big chunk of that number is people who didn't like Clinton or Trump. Again, that's a big part of the explanation of why Trump won.